Hi friends, welcome back to Frosty Eye Candy and video number 62, my first bloom transfer. So for those of you that don't quite know what a bloom transfer is, it's where we do a bloom and we scrape it up with a large palette knife and then we drizzle the bloom that we've just scooped up off the palette knife onto another canvas that already has a base or a pillow onto it, something like that. So you're just basically transferring one picture you've made over another. So the colors I use to make the bloom is like this. I use some of the Amsterdam standard acrylics black mixed up in my pouring medium. Then I used a couple of piggies, these two little beauties. This one is Glisten right here. Glisten is a duo interference blue-green, and this one here, this is Fairy Floss, which is a super candy pink, as you can see, candy floss pink, with a bit of a gold shimmer to it, so it's very pretty. Those two, and then the duo cell activators, the JELLYBEAN recipe, Australian Floetrol and Amsterdam paint. I am using the titanium white, and this is the Prussian blue for a cell activator. So that's the actual bloom we're going to do, and you'll see me do that first. And then the second part, the 8-inch cradle that I transfer the bloom onto. All it is just some of this. This is the golden high flow acrylics, and this is the phthalo blue. This is the green shade it says here, but also as you can see there, it is semi-transparent because there's a little line through the square. Now this is the stuff, when we mix it in with our Bear and Josania pouring medium, gives us a fantastic kind of azure blue. It's so deep and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's because we use this high flow acrylic. So that's all I use on the second part of the actual bloom transfer. And you'll see me swipe it. You'll also see me swipe it with a new secret cell activator. Me and the guys in Acrylic Pouring for Beginners are working on something, and we're just testing it. And as long as it works on a good majority of paints, we're going to be releasing it rather soon. Anyway, it's enough of me chit-chatting, chitty-chat, chitty-chat, chitty-chat-chat. I'm going to zip it. We're going to get the camera pointing down, and we're going to start painting. Okay, friends? Okay then, friends. So the first thing I should say is this is just a canvas we're just using to do the bloom first, and then transfer the bloom over onto the swipe. That color I'm putting down there first, it's just regular Amsterdam oxide black mixed up in my pouring medium. So this color here, it's the beautiful interference color Glisten from TLP. It's an interference blue-green, but also some people have seen this gorgeous kind of purple mauve flash to it, which is also quite pretty and unexpected. So the next color I'm putting down here, friends, this is the TLP Fairy Floss. It's a gorgeous bright pink color with a gold flash to it, a gold shift, and as with the Glisten that went down before, they are both semi-transparent. And this was a bit of a serendipitous mistake for me. I did the bloom first as we're watching, and then did the background swipe, and by the time I went to pick up the bloom and do the transfer, it had spread right across this canvas here. And when I picked it up and then transferred it, it had a rather fortunate outcome as looking like a piece of driftwood, but we shall see when we get there. So that's the Prussian blue cell activator, and then that's the titanium white cell activator. And the cell activators are the JELLYBEAN recipe. If you'd like to know what JELLYBEAN is, there's a web address at the bottom of the screen right now. It's an online course where you can learn all these tips and tricks of how to do this fantastic art. And I have a 15% discount code, which is on the screen now. So there you go, my friends. There's a nice close-up of the bloom, but as I just mentioned, by the time I get around to transferring it, it had spread right out. And we didn't retain much of the bloom in the transfer over this canvas here. So here you go. This is an 8-inch canvas, my friends. Just lining it up with the lines on my spinner board here. And there's a nice bit of pillow paint put down there. I would estimate probably about 2 to 3 ounces. And then I kind of second guess myself and just add a little bit of paint to the corners here. Just to add that tiny little bit more so we can smooth the pillow out to the edges of the cradle and we won't get that ring mark. I keep second guessing myself and just adding a little more, and then we can always run the risk of adding too much. But I'm pretty happy with that amount of pillow. I'd guess with the extra, probably about maybe 3.5 to 4 ounces at the most on this 8-inch square cradle. So here we go down with the golden high flow acrylics. This is the phthalo blue green shade. It's semi-transparent and it's what gives us that beautiful azure kind of depth to the background. We're just giving the canvas a nice tap there, getting some of the bubbles out of the colour and of the pillow. They're not our friends. So here's the swiping tool we're going to use, my friends. And with the background here, I am testing our new secret cell activator. That hopefully won't be a secret too long. So there you go, just use it very thinly. And here we go, here's how it works. It's not as fast acting as the Australian Floetrol, but I would say it's a good comparable cell activator to the US Floetrol recipe with Amsterdam paint. And as we can see, the cells are popping up really nicely here. It's working a treat. Nice little close-up here. Great lacing there, as it says on the screen. Cells looking really great, and that's going to make a great background. So usually I do this before, friends, but I'm doing it now, just spreading the paint out to the edges. And you might be able to hear my little cat meowing in the background, bless him. He wants his dinner. So yes, just spreading the paint out just to the edge of the canvas. This helps the paint, when we spin it, meet the edge of the cradle here and then just flow down nicely over the edge and then onto my spinner board there. And we don't get any paint splattering or flying anywhere. So again, leaving my spins in real time. For those people joining us for the first time or have not watched my videos before, I love leaving my spins in real time so you can see how long and how fast I spin for. But wow, one spin and she's looking great. This is going to be a fantastic background for the transfer. Nice little 360 view, panning out just a little bit, and a nice little close-up for you guys. That beautiful golden phthalo blue, really gorgeous, deep, beautiful colour. It really gives us a great dramatic background to the transfer. So there we go, not much movement. And here we go, here's the transfer, the bloom that I'm going to transfer, but as you can see, it's spread right out. So I figured, what the hell, I'm going to have a go anyway. So even though it's really spread out far, and we didn't get much of the actual bloom pattern after I transferred, we still had a great serendipitous result, especially with this very, very sloppy application. As I was doing it and then looked at it, I was really, really chuckling and laughing to myself. Wow, I really had the horseshoes with me, let's say, on this one. But fantastic with that transfer over the top. We've got such great depth and dimension to the piece. And another couple of serendipitous results, some bubbles in the actual bloom when I transferred, which gave us this beautiful kind of window through the transfer to see the background and just adding even more depth. So now just giving it one last spin, make sure any excess with the transfer that I've just put on the cradle comes off, because we don't want the paint too thick, of course, because if we leave it too thick, we run the risk of it cracking. So here's a nice close-up and a nice pano 360 of it. Wow. The hole in the transfer at the bottom there has just really made it really quite special. I say this every time, but I couldn't have been more lucky or happier with how this one came out. So again, just checking for the movement. And here we go for a nice close-up, my friends. It's hard to see, but the piggies, they glisten, and the fairy floss in the transfer there, really showing us some lovely subtle colour flashes. But this is it. Thank you very much for joining me, my friends. I greatly appreciate you watching. If you like what you see here, please visit my Facebook store. And as always, happy pouring.